Hi, this is Teacher Lourdes, and this is your course, Science, Technology, and Society. Our lesson 7 is Why the Future Doesn't Need Us. Our objectives are explain the core arguments of Bill Joyce why the future doesn't need us concerning the risk posed by advanced technologies such as robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. Analyze the ethical, societal, and social implications of uncontrolled technological development, and evaluate possible solutions, safeguards, and responsible innovations that ensure technology serves humanity rather than threatens it. Let's have these scenarios. Scenario 1: perfect health, zero privacy. Nanobots can repair your cells, but they monitor your entire body 24/7. Scenario 2: super AI leaders. An AI program becomes far better at making decisions than any government, and citizens want it to rule. And scenario 3: factory of the future. All human workers are replaced by self repairing robots. The productivity rises, but millions of people lose jobs. Is this a future we want or a future we fear? Why? You can answer in the comment section below. Let's look at these images. Do you think these images can make our life good? In the first image, it's a friendly future where a robot is assisting an elderly woman. In the next picture or image, the people are constantly monitored by robots and AI. There is no privacy. And the last image, robots powered by AI are self repairing, and they are already take over the society. So, do you think these scenarios can make our life good? Are we creating technologies that might replace humanity itself? Today's lesson, Why the Future Doesn't Need Us, challenges the idea that rapid technological progress, especially in robotics, nanotech, and genetic engineering, may lead to a future where humans are no longer essential. Your answers show that we already feel both the promise and the danger of these technologies. Now let's have the lesson proper. Looking at this machine in an industrial factory, do you think one day robots will take over the society? Let's examine the essay made by William Bill Joy. So Bill Joy, this in the picture, he created the essay titled "Why the Future Doesn't Need Us." It was a controversial yet powerful essay implicating the possibility and dangers of self-reflecting technologies resulting to irreversible harm. Do you think he has a basis in his claims? So, what are the ethical implications of genetic engineering? This image is a representation of genetic engineering. So let's imagine a future where machines can design better machines. Genetically modified organisms can replicate uncontrollably, and tiny nanorobots can alter matter at the molecular level. Who is in control in these situations? Humans or technology? This leads into Bill Joyce's influential 2000 article, which raised alarms about the rapid acceleration of 21st century technologies. So, looking at these images, uh, these, uh, these are images that will make you think about the technology we are having now. So in this one, these are discarded wheels, uh, discarded wheels of uh, vehicles, and this one is a painting of someone who is it's an abstract painting where you can see that this man is flying as well as this uh look like a swan. These are other creatures, and another one is this magnified image of a microorganism, and this one is a human-like image. And these images will make you think about the future. The essay was written by Bill Joy. He is a co-founder of Sun Microsystems, and the essay was published in Wired magazine in 2000. And it warned against the dangers of self-replicating technologies such as robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. So let's discuss more about this. Joy argued these are powerful enough to replace humans or cause irreversible harm if misused. So the first one, robotics, machine autonomy and super intelligence. So as you can see in this representation, the robot with AI can do multiple functions, and the human beings are wondering about what they are supposed to do with the emergence of the robots who can take the functions of the human beings. So let's discuss the increasing use of machines and robots capable of performing multiple functions is transforming modern industries and everyday life. These advanced technologies can complete tasks with greater speed, precision, and efficiency, often reducing human error and improving productivity. However, as robots take over roles once performed by people, such as manufacturing, customer service, and even some professional tasks, they raise concerns about job displacement and the changing nature of work. While automation offers many benefits, it also challenges societies to ensure that technological progress supports human well being. This includes preparing workers through education and reskilling, promoting ethical use of technology, and balancing efficiency with the value of human creativity, empathy, and decision making. So, what are the human like capabilities of super AI? So, in the near future, AI can possibly have these features such as consciousness, beliefs, desires, cognition, emotional intelligence, subjective experiences, behavioral intelligence, and super AI. So you can say that the AI, when put into robots, can be alarming because they can function as real human beings when they have consciousness, beliefs, and desires. And this is alarming because they can exceed the intelligence of human beings. So, advances in AI could lead to autonomous machines surpassing human intelligence. So, what are the risks? There can be loss of jobs, loss of control, and emergence of systems that self improve beyond human supervision. So, these are alarming. So, next is genetic engineering, the power to rewrite life. So, when you say genetic engineering, these are the steps. The first one is Cas9 is an enzyme, for example, that acts like molecular scissors to cut DNA. So DNA, uh, these are the components of every living organism. And number two, scientists create a genetic sequence called a guide RNA that pairs with the piece of DNA they want to delete, insert, or change. The third step, the guide RNA sticks to Cas9 in the cell and together they seek out the target DNA sequence. And number four step, Cas9 unzips the target DNA and allows the guide RNA to find a match. Then Cas9 goes in with molecular scissors and cuts the target DNA. So that's why it's called gene editing, because scientists today have advanced technology to edit the uh, human or any organism's DNA. So once cut enzymes in the cell repair the DNA, disabling or altering the gene. So, genetic engineering gives scientists the ability to directly modify the DNA of living organisms, offering powerful opportunities to improve health, agriculture, and environmental sustainability. Through techniques such as gene editing, researchers can correct genetic disorders, enhance crop resistance, develop new treatments for diseases that were once untreatable. However, this power to rewrite life also brings important ethical questions, such as the potential for unequal access, unintended consequences, or misuse of genetic technologies. As society navigates these possibilities, it becomes essential to balance scientific progress with responsibility, ensuring that genetic engineering is used safely, ethically, and for the benefit of all human beings and other creatures. So, as you can see in this table, these are the current technology in genetic engineering. So, in the last 5 years, there is access to biotechnology, crops for changing climates, function-based design in protein, philanthropy shapes by science, and state international regulation. In 5 to 10 years, we have agricultural gene drives, probes, expanding sensory capabilities, distributed pharmaceutical development manufacturing, genetically engineered phage therapy, human genomics covering, microbiome, and this other uh, emergence. And in more than 10 years, there will be bio-based production of materials and live plant dispensers of chemical signals, and malicious use of advanced neurochemistry is possible, and enhancing carbon sequestration and foreseen bioengineered replacement organs and the governance of cognitive enhancement. So the techniques like CRISPR enable altering DNA with precision. The risks included engineered pathogens, unintended mutations, and biological inequality and ethical dilemmas. So these are the possible risks. So the third one is the nanotechnology. So gray goo and beyond. This refers to both the potential and the risk of manipulating matter at the nanoscale. Nanoscale is 1 to 100 nanometers. So this is not visible. This is very small to be seen by the naked eye. That's why it's called nanotechnology, the science of the tiny. Nanotechnology enables revolutionary applications in medicine, electronics, energy, and material science by creating structures with unprecedented precision and functionality. For example, nanoparticles can target cancer cells, improve drug delivery, or make materials stronger and lighter. So this topic will be discussed more later. We have a video for especially for nanotechnology. So, however, discussions about nanotechnology also include speculative risks, such as the gray goo scenario. This is a hypothetical situation where self-replicating nanobots consume all matter on Earth uncontrollably. It's like the game that children play in their cell phones, wherein there is a something that consume all the matter uncontrollably. While mostly a cautionary tale, it emphasizes the ethical, environmental, and safety considerations of designing self-replicating nanosystems. So, beyond gray goo, nanotechnology raises broader concerns about human health, ecological impact, and security and governance. So, nanotechnology is also shown in many sci-fi movies, such as the Iron Man, Spider-Man, uh, and other movies like the Bloodshot by Vin Diesel. It also uses nanotechnology. So there are many possibilities in using nanotechnology. And in this Grey Goose scenario, example is the first assembler is created to convert organic matter into other materials. And the assembler is programmed to create new units identical to itself, just like these illustrations. And then each unit follows the same programming instruction to consume and multiply. So another step is the manufacturing rate becomes exponential, producing greater and greater numbers of assemblers like this. So number five, eventually the assemblers would strip the earth of all organic matter, leaving only nanomachines behind. So this is a Grey Goo and beyond scenario. It highlights the dual nature of nanotech, which has immense promise for innovation and potential risks that require careful oversight, responsible research, and ethical frameworks to ensure it benefits society without causing harm, especially to humans and animals. So these are the images of nanobots. Okay, so for this images, nanobots capable of replicating themselves could hypothetically consume matter uncontrollably. So it's like the game of children with a black hole wherein all things are consumed and it all falls into the hole. Environmental and security concerns arise from weaponized nanotech. Okay. So now let's discuss the ethical issues and social implications. So the ethical issues include human extinction scenarios, loss of privacy and autonomy, moral responsibility in scientific innovation, power imbalance between nations and corporations, and the need for regulation and global agreements. So let us synthesize Joy's warning. Bill Joy did not call for the end of technology, but for careful reflection, ethical responsibility, and slowing the development when risks outweigh the benefits, and collaboration among scientists, policymakers, and citizens. So that's our lesson. For your student activity, okay, we will divide our class into three groups representing robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. And each group will create a concept map with the following, and you will present your analysis in our face-to-face class. And other groups will ask questions during the open forum. And you will answer these questions in a piece of paper next meeting. And for the last activity, you will create a mini reflection of 2 to 3 minutes, and you will record a short video of yourself to answer which among RGNN technologies possess the greatest danger to humanity and what should we do today to prevent that future. So this is the rubrics. So that's our student activity. And these are my references. Thank you so much to this references. Okay. And I will prepare for your output for this assessment activity. And this is Teacher Lourdes saying mabuhay.